After living 40 years amongst the people of Quraysh and being loved by every single person in that society, once the Prophet ﷺ became a prophet, most people of the Quraysh ended up rejecting him. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, the people started to not just abuse, but also torture the people that followed him. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, the people began abusing and torturing him, not just mentally, but also physically and emotionally. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, the people started actually killing his followers. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, he had to say goodbye to the people who he loved because they had to migrate and completely leave Mecca because it was too unsafe for them to be there. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, the Prophet ﷺ and his people went through an extreme level of boycott where there was no food, no water, no business trades or deals so that they can get food and water at all, to the point where the people suffered so much where they were actually eating dry, dead animal skin just to survive, including small leaves from a plant. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, the Prophet ﷺ then lost his uncle. Now, his uncle was his father figure and he was his passport for him to exist in Quraysh, protected with no one being able to attack him. Now that was gone, the protection was gone, and that's why when he didn't think that things could get worse, there were multiple assassination attempts on the Prophet ﷺ. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, he then lost his wife, his backbone, Khadija radiallahu anha. And when he didn't think that things could get worse, he was eventually expelled from his own society. And no wonder why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, do you really think that you're going to enter Jannah without being tested like those people before you? They were afflicted with suffering and adversity, and they were so violently shaken that even the prophets themselves, they cried out, where is Allah's help? When is Allah's help going to come? Ala inna nasrallahi qareeb. Indeed, Allah's help is always near. And so what we found in the life of the Prophet ﷺ is despite all the attempts of Quraysh to silence the truth, to silence Islam, to silence the Prophet, Islam kept on growing more and more. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم ويأبى الله إلا أن يتم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. That they wish to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will only ever allow His light to be perfected, even though the disbelievers hate it. And subhanAllah, just if we look in today's day and age from the east to the west, how many times have the disbelievers tried to silence Islam and create agendas against Islam, but it only gets bigger and bigger. But anyway, as Islam grew more and more and the Prophet ﷺ gained power, the Quraysh essentially brought about their own downfall and the Muslims were able to take them down. So, how does this relate to Israel? As you guys know, Israel has been indiscriminately torturing the Palestinians for many, many decades now. It has been getting worse and worse with every passing year. And in the last few months, ever since October, we've seen a level that we've not ever seen from them before, and they've really, really pushed the bounds. But as they've been pushing the bounds, the tide has slowly started to turn against them, subhanAllah. Is it not the case that Israel went from being a position of, you could say, somewhat honor amongst the world, and now they're slowly, if not already, have become the most hated people on the face of the planet? I can assure you, just as this happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, that they've awoken a giant that will never ever sleep until justice is served. They've literally brought about their own downfall without even realizing, just as the Quraysh brought about their own downfall and led to their collapse, essentially. And so it's only a matter of time before Allah's help will come and we will be successful. I'm going to leave you with a verse in the Quran which you should find solace in. And this verse is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. Truth has come, falsehood has vanished. Indeed, unquestionably, falsehood is always, always bound to vanish. Falsehood, no matter what form it's in, will always be exposed and the truth will always end up showing. And the truth will definitely show in this case. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.